shoot this. Let's see what we got on the monitor. And then we'll take a looky-loo. Okay. Guess on live. Let me adjust my camera angle here so you guys can see what's important and not what's not. Let's see. Hopefully that's a little better angle. Move my ugly trash can out of the way. Nobody wants to see a trash can. Let's see. Should be good. There we go. Looks good. Let me grab my cordless drill real quick and a drill bit. Because, and I should have probably had that in advance, but I didn't think about it. So let me grab a small drill bit. Okay, I think that'll probably work. So, my Amazon, well, let me catch you up on a couple things real quick. Those who joined me live last night saw that I was working on this piece here. We started with the blank foam. Remember, I was going to build that warehouse scene, and I was in the process of building that and smoking some pork shoulder late into the night, into the morning. And so while I did that, where we left off was where I drew the bricks on the foam. And this is where I'm at so far with where we left off last night. And I'll try to put a flag or link the previous live video to where we started this, to what we have now. And I need to build, there's still more to do on this wall, but, you know, I've got to go in here and paint this, and then I might add some broken pieces of pipe in there. But this is where we're at with, you know, where we left off last night. I started with the blank foam. I drew out sections that I wanted to have brick show through. Then I used my wood burning tool and I made the brick lines, textured it, and did a few things. Did some painting. Then I went ahead and laid some sheetrock mud over the, sort of feathered in the sheetrock mud over the little square areas of brick that I wanted to show through. And I airbrushed different shades of, you know, gray on here with a little bit of, you know, I started off with the lighter gray, and then I did some airbrushing of some darker grays. Then I airbrushed a little tiny bit of blue in there, and then I stippled with a torn sponge some other, you know, shades of gray to create sort of a concrete look to this warehouse that I want to do. And so those of you that join me, I said all that to say that those that, you know, watched the previous night's video live stream can see what a transformation happened, you know, within a few hours to a blank piece of foam. But I wanted to also, let me see who's on here so I can say hello. Hey, what's going on, Snapface? Thanks, man. I don't know if you saw the live stream last night, but we started off with a blank piece of foam, and I'm building this is actually going to be a two walls like this, and then a nice 24 by 24 piece floor. But like I say, last night I was smoking some pork meat and doing some different things, and so I wanted to make use of my time and start working on this. And I just was catching people up to where I am with this wall since last night. And I tell you, things that save me a lot of time are that a heat gun, because I can go in and I can, and an airbrush. An airbrush really saves time in painting and paint drying. And the heat gun allows me to just dry this like in no time, and so that just saves me a tremendous amount of time. But tonight what I wanted to do, and it was going to be what I did last night, was but Amazon didn't, UPS failed me. I wanted to go ahead and put wire a light into this refrigerator here that I did, and UPS finally came through today and brought my stuff. I was waiting on these battery harnesses to come, and so they finally did come today. I do have I think I left a light in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wire this battery harness, and I think I have a light bulb in here and a 6-volt. I decided on 6-volt because it's just brighter, and I can use 2 of these button batteries here, and 6-volt. I wanted 6-volt. Well, I wanted a small battery housing is what I wanted, and 2 AA batteries is only going to produce 3 volts, and it's not going to be a very bright light. So I decided that I'd go with this real low profile button, battery, which is the CR2032, and I could put 2 of those in there, and that's going to give me 6 volts. So I just bought some 6-volt LEDs to go with it. But I wanted to wire this in, on here, and then bring the bulb through inside here, so I have a nice light inside there. So when I go to do the photography, I've got just that extra layer of, if you see my pictures, obviously you have, I want to be able to include as many different levels and layers of lighting and depth and realism that I can to the photos. And so adding this light is going to help me do that. And I settled on, you can buy whatever different color temp LEDs you want. I just settled on a nice white light, and if I want to change that to a nice orange colored sort of tungsten color for the refrigerator, in post-production I can just change that in Photoshop. But if I start out with a white light, then I've got a lot of latitude later in post if I want to change it to red or yellow or green or whatever. So by starting out with a white light, it just saves me a little bit of time. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to attempt to wire this. Now, I wouldn't have any problem wiring this if nobody was watching. So I said that to say that we're going to go ahead and wire it live. That way I'm sure to screw something up. Let me move my stool here and stand up and get a couple things ready. I'll try to check my comments often. Well, that's a good question, and that was a bit of a beast. I created a hinge. Let me see if I can bring this up on here. I don't know how well it's going to show, and I need to paint them. But what they are is kind of just, they're a 2-piece hinge, and one is a cylinder and one is just a rod, and I just 3D printed them. It's like a tube, and the other one is just like a cylinder, and it goes inside like a male and a female, and then I just hot glued them on here, that's my hinge. So hopefully you can, I don't know how well this is gonna, I'm gonna bring it up as close as I can and show you. It looks a little bit rough right now because I need to paint it still, but I didn't paint the bottom hinge all the way yet. But that's what it is. You can see the bottom. This is the cylinder, and then this is sort of the sleeve. And as this opens, it rotates. It just free rotates inside that cylinder because it's hot glued here. And then I hot glued the one up here. So it just rotates in and out of there. So that's how I did that. And it was kind of a chore, but there's no hinge that I could buy that would, you know, go for the foam like that. And so one of the good things about the 3D printer is, one of the good things about the 3D printer is that I can sort of design and make stuff up on the fly, man. Oh, thanks, Robert. I appreciate you on the progress. So at any rate, you know, that's how I did the hinge. It was a bit of a chore, and I had to think about it for a couple days, you know, on how exactly I was gonna come up with a hinge that would work and look like I didn't kind of just get lazy at the end and you know, just slap something together. So thank goodness for the 3D printer and for me being able to come up with something halfway decent. So, you know, on these fridges, I know that back in the day, from the ones that I had seen, some of the lights come in on the side, some come in on the top, some come in from the back wall facing the door. For the sake of making it easy on myself, I am just going to have the light come in from behind because the battery box is going to be here. So we're going to have the light come in from behind, and that way it's easily concealed in the images and the photography, and I don't have to really work around seeing a big battery box and a light. What I want to check, though, I want to make sure that I've got a drill bit that's going to let my light bulb go in there. It's not going to be too small. And I think the one that I picked will work. If not, there's a technical term for what I'll do. We'll just waller it out. Let me double check that before I get to going on this, that the batteries and everything are going to be proper for this light, so I don't waste my time. Let me figure out how to open this little box. There we go. And this is okay. Let me drop a couple batteries in this rascal and just make sure that we're on the right track for wiring this up, so that I know later when I go to turn it on that if it doesn't turn on, that it's not the battery, that it's me. You know, boy, they really put these in here good too. But we put these rascals in here pretty secure. All right, got it out. Okie dokie. So positive and negative, or okay, positive. Looks like they both go in the same way. And no, that one goes negative. So one goes up, one goes down. That just snaps closed. There's an on and off switch on these. And you can buy these. I usually buy double A's or a 9-volt, but this is a little bit smaller. And you can just buy these on Amazon. They're like $6 for a pack of like 6 or something. So let's just make sure that it does light up. So I don't waste any time. That must be on. I must have had it off. Let's see. Maybe I got the batteries backwards. No, let's see. Flip the switch one more time. And sometimes, you know, the wires are you have to read the package because the wires on the LED light will be wrong. So let me flip the batteries around. See if I got that wrong. Let's see. And they give you such short leads on these wires too. I usually strip them down and make them a little bit more wire coming out, because they really make them short. Okay, well, that's not the problem. There we go. There's some light. Okay. Yay, we got light. So light works. So, and it's red to red and black to black. Sometimes that, you know, I've had them and they're different, man. You'd think they're wired one way and they're really not. So it's nice to know that these are. I'm just gonna cut these leads a little bit so I've got a little more wire on them, because my fingers are like sausages and my eyes are not what they were, and these wires are small. So we're going to make sure I've got every advantage that I can. Okay, that's good there. And I don't know, I just thought this would be something, you know, it would be cool to share and sit and do this live. So I figured somebody might find value in it. I like putting these little lights in these diodes too, man. It's pretty fun. Let me grab Jason and let me see, kind of scale up where I think a light would be sort of eye level. And grab a pin. So I'm going to do it really precise, right? real precision. Let me get a different Sharpie here. There we go. Right there. And hopefully, you know, like I say, put in the these lights in the diodes. It's pretty cool. You know, it can add that extra layer, and it's one less light I have to try to put in, you know, the scene while I'm photographing, like a lume cube or a flashlight or a tea light or something. If there's already a light in the refrigerator, it's one less light I have to try to add to the scene later. So it makes it nice. Now here's the part where I drill a hole in the nice looking refrigerator I created and hope I don't screw it up. So let's just double check where I'm going with this and make sure we're going the right direction. And we are through. Not like it was like really going to be anything that would it would be really resisting the drill bit. So we'll fish these wires through here. And I'm an expert at making something that should take, you know, 20 minutes turn into $600 in 6 days. So we'll see how well I can stay on track here and not ruin anything. Okay. Actually, that fit in there nice. That fit in there pretty good. That nice. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll try to bring it in, but it's a perfect hole. I could recess it a little bit and take it back a little further, but I don't think I will. I'll just add a little dab of hot glue in there, and we'll call that rascal good. The leads are inside the foam, so it looks good. It's not really thick back there. It's just the thickness of a piece of poster board. So maybe, yeah, 1/8 of an inch or so. So it's not really that thick. So that works out good. And for now, let's go ahead and get a little dab of hot glue on the back. Well, I'll do the hot glue last. We'll do the hot glue last. It'll be fine. Actually, I might have to turn that on and go ahead and secure the battery box and then do the wiring, but it's kind of a lot of wire. I don't want to it's a lot of dang wire. I don't really want to cut my wire, but maybe I'll just keep all that wire and we'll just put a little dab of hot glue on the back and keep it back here. I mean, you're not going to see that in the photos anyway, so I hate to cut all my wire. Let's get a piece of let's plug this soldering iron in here and see if we can burn something down here online, blow a fuse, pop a breaker or whatever. And yeah, I think I'll just leave the wire the length that it is. I don't next thing you know, something will happen and I'll need all that wire and it won't be there. So we'll go ahead and let this rascal heat up. Get out a couple pieces of shrink tube. I think this should be a good size. Yeah, a couple pieces of this. One there and one that's too small right there. There we go. Got different colors, but this is another little kit I bought on Amazon. It's just a little bunch of various size heat shrink. Well, I smell that soldering iron heating up, that's for sure. It's funny because I use the soldering irons for more than just soldering. I use it for foam and everything else. So when it heats up, I can smell it. It smells like everything it probably shouldn't smell like. All right. Hey, and Robert, I know you do like neon lighting, so don't knock my wiring, man. Hey, what's going on, Fly Right? Man, I gotta, speaking of drones, I scored some awesome footage of some bridges. I did some work with Alameda County and I got some awesome bridge footage of the new bridge operators opening and closing the bridges. And I got to take my GoPro and go down into the pit, you know, the bottom underwater of these bridges and stuff. Really cool stuff. I'm going to link you to a video, Fly Right. It's not a public video because I can't make it public yet, but I'll link you to a video where you can see I'm riding this train bridge, and I'm riding the elevator all the way up to the top, man. It's like 150 feet in the air, and I fly the drone out from this train elevator. It's super cool, man. But I can't make it public yet. But anyway, I'll link you to that, and so you can see it if you want, man. It's and with the rain, you know, coming now, it's kind of tough to get out and get any real drone work right now because the rain is here and it's, you know, off and on. So I ought to put some glasses on because I can already tell you it's gonna give me a what happened to my 20-year-old eyes, man, you know. Age. But that train elevator is so cool because when I was a kid, we used to, I mean, it hasn't been operational for a long time. And when I was a kid, we used to walk across that bridge and pull all the air brakes on the train cars, thinking that all the train cars had rolled away. But, you know, we didn't understand air brakes back then, so we didn't know they wouldn't roll away. But we used to pull the air brakes out. And, but that's back in, you know, 80s, man. So anyway, I got some really cool footage of that. So, see if I can put a little flux on here. Get a little. Let's get a little solder on this tip. It looks like it's, when it's smoking, that means it's ready, I think, right? Let's see. And I couldn't find my other really super thin solder, so I got to use this. So hopefully it, there we go, it's on there. Okay. Close my door so I don't knock it off, and little solder on here. Put a little solder on that tip there. Solder on this tip. Sometimes you buy these and they have already little soldered leads, but this one doesn't. So I'm just going to solder on my little leads first, and then I'll attach them together. Make sure I'm not burning my mat. That'd be something to do live. Okay, so okay, one done. And this is going to be a little bit excessive amount of wire, but whatever, you know, we'll make sure that we wrap it up nicely. Put this back over here so I don't burn anything inadvertently. And I can see the light already on. You know what I didn't do? I thought I put a piece of heat shrink on this one, but I didn't. So we'll have to figure that out. No big deal. I'll have to unsolder that and put a piece of shrink. I thought I had one on there. Did it slide up here somewhere? No. See? Told you. Here it is right here. I always do something cuckoo. So let's undo this. There we go. And put the shrink tube on there. I cut it. I guess I just didn't put it on. But this is, you know what? This refrigerator, I'll tell you what too. It was a challenge to build. I never built one, but I'm not sure. You know, I saw a movie. I saw something that inspired me to want to build. Oh, I saw some old Urbex pictures. Some people had some photos of some abandoned warehouses or something, and there was this really cool refrigerator in there. I'm like, whoa, look at that thing, man. It looks super cool. So I was like, let me build one. And so that's what inspired me to do it. But it was a bit of a challenge because I wanted it. I didn't really want to skimp, and let me unplug my soldering iron now that I'm not going to use it. I didn't really want to. I mean, it'd be easy enough to build one that the door didn't open and there was no light in it. But I didn't want that. I really wanted, if I was going to take the time to do it, I wanted it to be functional to some degree, not just, you know, some box that looked like, you know, doors would, you know, would be there, but the doors didn't open. So, and I don't have a lighter. Let me use my heat gun. Let me plug this heat gun in. It's going to be kind of overkill, this big heat gun for this don't I have no lighter in here. Imagine that. Call my wife and tell her to bring me a heat gun. Tell her to bring me a lighter. Hang on one second. Let me call her and while I'm on Facebook Live. Isn't that something? Hang on. Bring me a lighter. Hey, babe, can you bring me a lighter outside real quick? Okay, there you go. There you go. Let me check my comments real quick. Yeah, you're right. The leaves are turning. Fly-Ride and Snapface, yeah. You know, I wanted to do, you know, there's channels that do toy photography and they just solely do them outside. I've done that, like some of my earlier toy photography stuff, and it would be cool.